are you learning tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm going to learn at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Okay? That's after davening. So we learned in the Mishnah about a wall that's between two chatzeros. And we said that if the wall is 10 tfachim high and 4 tfachim wide, then each one can get, so they can go up to the wall, to the top of it and eat fruit there. They can't bring it down because they sort of own the top of the wall together, the airspace. So what about, the Gemara says, Ein bar b'amai, what if the wall is not 4 tfachim wide? Amarav, avir shtei rishur shaletispo. So then the airspace again rules on top of it. And it's not big enough to be, remember, an individual rishus, hayachid, has to be 10 high and 4 by 4 wide. So since this is not its own rishus, and it basically, the top of it is owned by both rishuyos, and they asur on each other because there's no eruv we're talking about. So lo yaziz ba'afilu kamali nima. You can't move anything on top of the wall. That's Rav. But Rav Yochanan Amar elu malin mikan va'ochlin ve'elu malin mikan va'ochlin. Absolutely not. Each one can go up from their chutzner to the top, and they can bring the food down. It's a makam p'tur, says Rashi, and it's bata lakan lahakel. So just the opposite of Rav. Tzvi, I'm teaching the Daf Yomi now. Can I call you when I'm done? Like in a half hour? Hello? 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 So we learned in the Mishnah, our Mishnah, oilin in, they can go up and eat there, but malin low. But it means from our Mishnah, it seems not, against Rabbi Yochanan, you can't go up with anything. So he will explain like this. So if the wall is is 4 by 4, oilin in, malin low. Like we said in our Mishnah, he agrees. Because then it's a reshus in its own right. You can go up and eat what's there, but you can't bring it down because you can't share because there's no eruv. But ein bo arba al arba, if it's not 4 by 4, so it's a makam tour, malinami, you can take food from the chutzner and bring it up to the top. They can't take it from your house. But you can take it, those things that were in the chutzner, you can. Vaz Rav Yochanan tamei. Rav Yochanan is consistent. Let's say you have a post in the Rishus HaRabim that's 10 tfachim high, but it's not 4 by 4. Mutter livnei Rishus HaRabim, livnei Rishus HaYachid, the kasev elav. Let's say people are walking in the Rishus HaRabim and they have something on their back. They could put it down on there, and it's not considered that you transferred from Rishus HaRabim to Rishus HaYachid because it's not Rishus HaYachid, it's a makam tour. As long you can't take something that was in Rishus HaRabim and put it there and then take it from there to Rishus HaYachid, even though you can transfer from Rishus HaYachid to there, from Rishus HaRabim to there. You just can't. There's a gzeir midrabanan that you can't move it from one Rishus to the other. So I understand, says the Rav, less later Rav Dimi, what Rav Dimi does, Rav doesn't accept Rav Dimi. So Ibir Shus Deraisa Chanami. So if we're talking about Rishus HaRabim, Rishus HaYachid that are Deraisa Dika Rishu Yois, he agrees. But Hacha by skin, and here by Eruv Chatzeros, listen, you're allowed to carry me Deraisa from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaYachid, from one Chatzer to another. It's only Chazal that came up with the Gzeira that you're not allowed to do it unless you have an Eruv. So this is a Rishuyas Drabanan. There are examples in Shas where a rabbinic law is made even more stringent than a Doraisic law, because otherwise people will mezalzel a rabbinic law, and this is an example of that. Koisel shebein shtei chatzeros. You have a wall between two chatzers. Tziro echad gavoa asar tzvach v'tziro echad shavel aretz. Now, so you have two chatzers, but the ground of the one chatzer is higher than the other. So on this side, the wall is the same, but on this side, it's 10 tefachim high. On this side, it's only 5 tefachim high. Noisin also l'zeh shavel aretz. So then, the people who live on the in the higher chutzner where the wall is only 5 tefachim, they have priority use of the wall because they have easier use, and they can bring things up to the top and down to the top, and the other chutzner cannot use it. Okay. The usage of the wall is given to the courtyard that has easier use. Same thing with a ditch. You have a ditch that's 10 tefachim deep, and we're going to see 4 tefachim wide. Now, you can have the same kind of thing where one chutzner is higher, so the distance from where they are down to the bottom of the ditch is 10. But if the ground of the other chutzner is lower, maybe they only have 5 tefachim deep. So again, says the Gemara, we give the right of usage of the ditch to the chutzner that's lower ground. So the Gemara asks the obvious question, tzrichi. Now, why did I have to be told the din in both of the cases? The same thing. So the Gemara says no. If I would have only been told this law regarding a wall above ground, people use things that are sort of at eye level. You know, the common usage is things above the aval chritz, but a ditch, people don't store their things in general. They'd rather store it above than below. So maybe I would think aim low. Maybe it wouldn't apply. There's an advantage to a ditch. When you put storage items in a ditch, it's pretty secure there. It's not going to fall. So maybe there it's easy usage. But if you put something on top of a wall where people are always going to be afraid that something's going to roll off and break, maybe aim low. Maybe we wouldn't say that's called nicha tashmisha. So tzricha had to be told that in both cases we use the same svara. Now, bolamato, let's say he's going to build a step on one side of the wall to bring it so that it's not 10 tefachim high, that you can make it easier for him to use. So one side brings a step and the other side doesn't. So we see in yesh b'miyoto arba, if the step is wide, 4 tefachim wide, mutar lishtamish b'chol hakos kula. You can then use the whole wall if you go up, because this now makes it like a pesach. That allows you to go up on top, and then you can use the whole wall, not just the wall opposite the 4 tefach step. Now, the inlav, if the step that you make is not 4 tefachim wide, then emishtamish ela keneged amiyut. You can use the wall, but only the wall next to the step that you make. So the Gemara doesn't understand manavshach. If the reduction in the height of the wall helps, so bekula koisel lishtamish, let him use the whole wall. Ilahan, if it doesn't help, I feel okay. You can't have it both ways. Either it works or it doesn't work. Oh, you didn't make a step. You sort of chopped away some of the bricks that were on top of the wall. And in that area, you made it that it wasn't 10 tefachim. So if you make that area 4 tfachim wide, so then you can use the whole wall. But if it's only that area, you can only use that area. Now, Rav Yechiel, kafa sofim. You have like a kli. You have a big kli, a big chulin pot, and you put the chulin pot up. You turn it upside down. You put it next to the wall, so you can climb to the top of the wall. You were mamayit the wall to make it nicha tashmishta less than 10 tefachim. The Gemara says mamayit, it works. It's like you built a step there. Freak the Gemara v'amai. Why should it work? Dovra nitzel b'Shabbos who. It's muktzah. It's something that can be used on Shabbos. The Dovra nitzel b'Shabbos ain't mamayit because we're concerned that you're going to remove it because you're going to use it. And therefore, it cannot be used to be memayit this wall. So it can't be considered like a kviyastik mechitza. And for the Gemara, lo tzricha dechabre ba'ara. You sort of buried it a little bit. You put dirt around the chulin pot, so you can't move it. Because it's muktzah to move dirt. Who cares that you dug it? You sort of dug it into the dirt. Vatanya, pagashit mina batevin. You had a fig that you wanted to help it ripen, and you buried it in straw. Now, straw is also muktzah because it's set aside. It's designated for use to make bricks, so it's muktzah machma mlachtal iser. So pagash shitmina b'tevin or chara. You have a cake shitmina b'gecholim. You put it from erev Shabbos into coals, and then the coals extinguished, but they're still muktzah. You cannot ever do it in coals that are still not extinguished, because then it's your aser malacha mavir. But we're talking about they're extinguished. So the halacha is imagula miktsasa. If some of the cake you can see, nitelas b'Shabbos, you're allowed to take it. You're allowed to take it on Shabbos, the piece of cake. So then, why then? Is there an answer that if you take the chulin pot and you bury it in dirt that works? It shouldn't work, because like these cases you can pull it out on Shabbos as well. The chulin pot has handles, and therefore, and the dirt is on the handles, and by moving it, it's like you're being choifer, says Rashi. You're like digging a hole in the dirt, which is also on Shabbos. So you're not going to come to do that. Why is it permitted if it has, or it should still work even if it has handles? You took turnip or radish, you buried it under grape leaves. So bisman shemiktzas alin megulin. As long as you can see some of the leaves, they're not completely buried. We're not worried that you're mixing, you're not allowed to plant grapes with other things. So it's not completely mechaber. V'lo mishum meiser. We don't have to worry that maybe it grew a little bit when you buried it, and you have to be mafresh meiser on anything that grows further. V'lo mishum shvius, you're not allowed to put something in the ground on shvius. We don't have to worry about that. And nitolin b'Shabbos. And having leaves is similar, because even though you're gonna move the ground, because most of the radish is buried in the dirt, and still you're allowed to pull it out. So it should be the same thing with the chulin pot. Lo tzricha deboy mar v'chatzina. You need actually a hammer and a chisel to get it out of there. It means you put it in there really good. So Eina Chanami, you would do malacha chafira. So in that situation, you'd be allowed to use it. It would be permitted to use such a reduction in the height of the wall. Then Sulma Mitzri Enamamayit, Vatsrimamite. If you use an Egyptian ladder it on the wall, it does not allow you to use the wall. But a Tyrian from the city of Tyre in Lebanon would work. It has less than 4 rungs. It's a small ladder. So therefore, it doesn't serve as a real Pesach. My time in the Sulam Mitzri, the Lobe Mai. How come the Sulam Mitzri doesn't work? Amarle, Lo Shmela Chadam Ravacha Baradam Ravamnuna Maravi Shum Davale Davar Shenitel B'Shabbos. It's because it's something that's movable on Shabbos. Chol Davar Shenitel B'Shabbos Ein Mai. So Iachi Afilu Tzuri Nami, a Tyrian ladder can also be moved. So the Gemara says Hasam Koivdoi Koivdoi. No, the Tyrian ladder is very heavy, and therefore it's a good miut. Amar Abaya, Koisel Shbein Shtei Chatzeros Gavor Asar Tfachim. You have a wall between 2 Chatzeros, it's 10 Tfachim high. V'niach Sulam Rachav Arba Mikan, V'Sulam Rachav Arba Mikan. One side puts a ladder that's 4 Tfachim wide, and the other puts a ladder 4 Tfachim wide. Ve'ein bein zel zeh shlosha Tfachim. Now, at the top of the wall, the distance between these 2 ladders is no greater than 3 Tfachim. So we have our old friend Lavud. It's as if they're right opposite each other. So Memai, so it works as a reduction in this wall. You can use it as if there's a Pesach, and the 2 sides can make an Eruv together. Now, Shlosha, if they're 3 wide from each, the distance between them at the top of the ladder, at the top of the wall is more than 3 Tfachim, then it doesn't serve to make this a good opening. That's if the koisel is not 4 Tfachim wide. But if the koisel is even 4 wide, then the ladders could be much further apart, and you can go up into the top, and the whole wall is permitted. You built a step on top of a step. One is wider than the other. As if the bottom one is 4 memai, then it's a good Pesach. Or inami, or another good case is as long as either the top or the bottom has at least 4 tefachim wide, then it works. And if the distance between the top and the bottom steps are within 3 tefachim, we use lavud, again, it will be a good Pesach memai. Sulam shashlivosov porchos. You have ladders or steps that are separate, or rungs of a ladder. They have to be 4 wide, or inami. As long as one of the shlivos, as long as one of the rungs are at least 4 wide, that works. And in bein zel zeh, they have to be within 3 tefachim of each other for lavud. That's another case. We'll learn that tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So go Dodgers, and have a good vach, everybody.
Good vach. Good vach. Mario, send me the Gemara tomorrow, Mario, please. Can you send me the Daf Yomi tomorrow after the Shia, please?
Yeah, but I don't know why we don't do it at 7 o'clock at night, tomorrow night, and we do both together. I don't know. He doesn't let...
I'm not in charge. I'm not the boss.
You are. You don't look it, but you are.
I'm not the boss. You look very handsome tonight, Mario. What happened?
I'm always handsome.
Elazar, Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.